I'll never forget the first time I booted up Final Fantasy VII. My mom got me a PlayStation 1 for getting good grades. Back when I was used to playing games where the hero saved the princess in sparkly castles on the Famicom, or, having this thing jump up through hoops. But Midgar, it kind of blew my mind. A city so grimy I could almost smell the pollution. A hero, Cloud, who acted more like a moody a-hole than a knight. A story that made you think about real-world problems like corporate greed and the destruction of the environment. Years later, here I am playing the remake, not just for the nostalgia, but because the original Final Fantasy VII taught me games could be more than just escapism. It could be art. Here's how it reshaped video game storytelling for me and why I think it still matters. Midgar actually mirrors closely our own world. It's just, filled with monsters. Most RPGs back then would just whisk you off into a fantasy fairy tale land. Midgar is different. A steel jungle where the rich lived in shiny plates above the slums, and a company called Shinra Electric Power Company sucked the planet dry for profit. As a kid, I didn't know terms like climate crisis or income inequality was, but I felt them in some form here. Shinra wasn't just some cartoon villain twirling his mustache. They felt like a faceless corporation that you'd see in the news now. Also, Cloud taught me that heroes could be broken. Before Cloud, RPG heroes would be like, Superman. They would be noble, confident, always sure of their purpose. But Cloud, he was a mess. He lied about his past, had panic attacks, and questioned his choices. As a teenager who can sometimes feel lost, you can relate to him. Here's a hero who didn't have it all figured out and needed his friends to piece him back together. When he broke down in the livestream, sobbing as his memory is shattered, I realized games could tackle mental health in ways books or movies couldn't. You weren't just watching his pain, you were fighting through it with him. And let's not forget the one scene that everybody talked about when it came out. You know the one. Aerith's death wasn't just shocking, it was personal. I'd spent hours leveling her up, laughing at her jokes, and trusting her guidance. Then, in seconds, she was gone. No dramatic last words, no heroic sacrifice, just brutality. I remember sitting there, controller in hand, thinking, games can do that? Like, she wasn't gonna get resurrected? It wasn't just sadness, I felt it was I did feel betrayed. The game didn't care about my feelings. It wanted me hurt, and to understand that saving the world came with loss. Today you can find stories that try to emulate that feeling or have scenes that are very similar to that, but back in the day, that was definitely a first for me. And why I still care and why I think you should still play the original game. Today, games like The Last of Us or Disco Elysium get praised for their mature stories, but a lot of games paved that road, and Final Fantasy VII was one of them. It trusted players to handle heavy themes, environmental collapse, identity crises, systemic corruption, and it didn't talk down to us. When the remake dropped, I'm currently playing Rebirth right now, I worried that it would feel outdated. Instead, it continues the story and preserves the original, giving us old heads like me a fresh story to enjoy, and gave the new players the curiosity to actually explore the original story. It wasn't just a nostalgia trip with a shot-for-shot remake, so to speak. In a world full of game-chasing trends, it's a monument to the power of raw, messy storytelling. Heroes can be broken, saving the world isn't black and white, and that sometimes the best stories leave you a little wrecked. And honestly, I want more of that. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. You know the deal. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.